It's the Sunday ticket. The sports interaction game of the day is this one. It's the Dolphins and the Ravens from Baltimore. Baltimore, Cam, 3-point favorites at sports interaction. And right now, don't talk about, one team isn't going to show up because we're talking about the two top seeds in the conference. Miami wants number one, and right now the Ravens are in that spot.
Dave, we got an 11-4 team versus a 12-3 team, but the Ravens, man, 7-3 ATS in their last 10. I can't get in front of this team right now. And Baltimore at home, they're just you saw what they did to the Niners on the road too. This team is special. Lamar Jackson is having a great year. He should be one of the MVP candidates. He should be the MVP or at least second in the voting. The guy's awesome. And I'll tell you something about Miami. They figured it out with Tyreek Hill against Dallas. But Baltimore, on their home turf, with their weapons, I think they shut down Miami, win this game by 7 and get it done. They need this win because if Miami wins, they're both going to be 12-4. Give me the Ravens.
Yeah, let's go with the birds on that one as well. Move on to the Titans and the Texans. Texans 3.5-point favorites at Sports Interaction. They're on the outside looking in on a playoff spot, and last week did not help their cause. Right now, Cam, I should tell you too that Houston has lost the last 4 games at home to the Titans. So when they're in Tennessee, they win. When they're at home, history tells us they lose.
It seems like a soft line, Dave. Houston at -3.5, but you know what? I'm taking Tennessee in this game. I know Seattle came back and beat them, but Henry was good. They're a 5-10 football team, but do I really want to lay points with Houston? I don't. The last couple of weeks have shown their true colors. They're a good young team, but I don't trust them in this spot. Tennessee, Tannehill's back. I think it's going to be a really tight game, and if we lose by 3, we still cover by the hook. I'm going to take Tennessee in this one. Tight game.
Yeah, that's exactly what I have. I think Houston wins this game. I think it's a field goal, and guess what? That means the Titans are the way to go. By the way, last 3 games between these two teams have played to the under, so something to consider there. Patriots and Bills right now, Sports Interaction. The Bills are 12.5-point favorites. New England won back in October when these two teams played. A lot of people forget about that. When the Bills went through those roller coaster ups and downs, Bills seemed to be on another page, even though it was a little bit of a, I'm not going to say speed bump, but
it was a sweat job versus the Chargers.
They probably should have taken care of business a little better against Los Angeles, shouldn't they?
I'm going to tell you something though. This is a perfect spot. You said it, Dave. Revenge, not good against the Chargers after very emotional wins over good football teams. Here's the thing. I think Buffalo absolutely takes New England out to the woodshed and beats them by like 20 points in this game. But here's the thing. New England's playing good football. Heck, they beat Denver on the road as a 7-point dog in that game. But Buffalo, they know the big picture. They got to keep on killing teams. Dave, I worry about the backdoor touchdown, but I'm telling you, they will be motivated. McDermott says, listen, these clowns beat you earlier on in the year. You got to take care of business. And that Charger game was not very good. They almost screwed it up. Buffalo will be on point, ready to rock, and I expect a 20-point win. They will cover the big number.
Yeah, and by the way, Buffalo has won 6 out of the last 8 games against New England. We move on to a game where I thought, what's it going to mean too much when I first saw this on the schedule in Week 17? But it's the Buccaneers, maybe the hottest team in football, home to the New Orleans Saints right now at Sports Interaction. Tampa is 3-point favorites. They've won 4 straight games, as I mentioned, and they have also won 3 straight against the Saints. This is first place in the division, and it's on the line here in week number 17.
Dave, I'm going to tell you, football, like in life, is very unpredictable, and people are just going to run to the window and bet Tampa. This line opened 3. I'm seeing 2.5, and I think a lot of people just automatically are going to bet Tampa. The Saints, they can be a very disappointing team, but I'm telling you, if they win this game, they're 8-8. If Tampa Bay loses, they're 8-8. I think the Saints show up in this game. This is my shocker of the week. I think they beat Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay beat a very beat-down Jacksonville team. I'm taking the Saints in a shocker.
Wow.
The reverse line movement, Dave, I'm taking them on the money line. Give me New Orleans. This is the game that's going to trip people up. I'm going to take the Saints this week.
And you're going to get probably pretty good plus money value on that Saints money line pick. So good luck to you on that one. I'm not sure where I'm going with this one personally.
Nobody wants to pull the trigger on the Saints, Dave, but me. I'm insane.
And both of these teams, it's weird. Both of these teams' offense, they've been scoring a lot.
Yes.
Like you look at the last 4 weeks, they're in the mid-20s or higher. And you know what? Could be a little bit of an overshootout as well. Let's move on to the Steelers and Seahawks right now. Seattle, 3.5-point favorites at Sports Interaction as we speak. They've won 2 straight games, but currently in a playoff spot. So there's a little bit of a log jam at those 8 and 7 teams. They do not want to lose out here late in the season.
know what the problem is, Dave? People don't know. Like, I've been a Seahawk fan my whole life, and they're 2-4-1 at home ATS. That's one of the things they win games, but now I'm seeing 3.5. I'm a
Yep.
little bit scared. Here's the deal. I think Seattle could be in big trouble in this game. Like, I hate to say it, like, and I love what they've done. They came back against Philly. They came back against Tennessee. Last minute touchdowns in both games, playing with fire. Pittsburgh looked great against Cincinnati. And I told you, Dave, we were right about Mason Rudolph. Holiday season, he was better than Trubisky. They murdered Cincinnati. I'm going to tell you, I think Seattle might win between 1 and 3. That hook is huge. Give me Pittsburgh.
And how do you bet against a guy named Rudolph during the Christmas season?
You don't.
I'm just I'm
don't.
just saying. I'm just saying. Bengals and Chiefs are next. Now, this is one of the better games of the last 3 years when these two teams meet up. It's a little bit of a different scenario here. We have no Joe Burrow. Patrick Mahomes doesn't seem like the same quarterback in the last month. Travis Kelce sucks. I don't know where that's got.
Well, Dave, he's getting, you know what? He's getting laid and he can't play football anymore. That's what happens. You can't have it all.
well, honestly, Casey has lost 3 out of the last 4 games against the Bengals. And you know what? The Chiefs seem very, very beatable, and that this playoff position where they're in, they're going to make the playoffs, but this might be an early exit for the Chiefs as well.
I think they're going to make the playoffs, Dave, but here's the situation. And I don't like betting on Kansas City all year, and I got tripped up. I thought they could take out a divisional rival, but Cincinnati looked awful against Pittsburgh. Here's the thing. Kansas City still is a good football team with weapons. Losing outright to the Raiders, a divisional rival, I got to tell you.
At home, at Arrowhead
at Christmas. No, you got to be saying, like, people must have been like, I feel sorry for Kansas City's kids because they didn't get presents. If their parents didn't buy them before the game, they're broke. Kansas City -7.5, though. This is a bounce back spot. You can see Mahomes. This guy's angry. You know what? And I'm actually on his side. Nobody's catching balls. Nobody's protecting him. Running for his life, but this is a get right spot. Andy Reid and this team will be prepared. I think they beat Cincinnati by 10. Give me the Chiefs.
And by the way, Isaiah Pacheco at time of taping, not expected to play in week number 17. Hopefully you do get that extra player in there to help out with that offense, which really has been struggling for the better part of the year. We move on to our final game. It's a Sunday nighter. It's the Packers and the Vikings from Minnesota. Minnesota right now, 2-point favorites at Sports Interaction. Both teams 7-8 on the outside looking in. But you know what? Whoever wins this game and maybe wins in week number 18 has an outside chance. There is some possibilities here. But if you lose, it's basically loser go home match. We like those matches, don't we?
We do, Dave. You're a wrestling guy. Loser leaves town.
Exactly.
And I'll tell you, the Packers are leaving town. Minnesota I got to tell you, Mullins is one of these guys. It's like, he'll make an incredible play and he makes 4 bonehead plays a game. But the thing about Green Bay is, let's take a look. These guys have lost games. They barely beat Carolina. This is the thing. Minnesota played their asses off against Detroit. But the thing is, they just didn't get it done down the stretch. Jefferson was amazing in that game. I'm going to tell you, more Ty Chandler, more Vikings. I think the Vikings at home beat the Pack by 7. They cover, and none of these teams are both. Dave, comes down to the final week. Give me Skol. Give me the Vikings. Let's rock.
And by the way, the last 10 contests, the Vikings and Packers have split it right down the middle.